Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
That's fun.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and this is the horror movie review show that we've done for, wow, it's like 100 and what?
106 episodes, I think that's it.
Something like that.
106?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, because there's so many in the middle that didn't count, so.
So we had this thought that we've done some, a lot of the 80s classic horror slasher films, Freddy, Jason, stuff like that. But we decided we're going to go through and pick
the worst sequels.
Yeah, the sequels that damn near ruined the whole thing. Yeah. And they've not rebooted, but they've kind of
just pretended that Bride and Seed didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they're still going with the Andy storyline.
And I didn't even mind Bride of Chucky. It was funny, but at least it had
still
the horror stuff. But we'll get into that a little more. So we're doing The Seed of Chucky this week. I don't want to give a heads up on what ones we're doing the next couple weeks, but Seed of Chucky, basic premise. In Bride of Chucky, he knocked up the bride, and the baby kind of came at the end, and this picks up, 5 years later, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And this is that story. That should have never happened. But let's roll the trailer and let people see for themselves what we sat through last night.
That's a very misleading trailer, because that makes it look like it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it is not.
But before we get into the behind-the-scenes facts and all that stuff, we have to give a shout-out to our sponsors. We played that trailer, but let's give a shout-out to the people that pay us all these fat stacks of cash that actually exist.
Yeah.
Gory Storytime is brought to you by Glenn's Gender-Neutral Gender Reveal Parties. Are you a pregnant woman, man, or other who would love to join in the fun of gender reveal parties but don't believe in 2019 you should assume the gender? Then Glenn's Gender-Neutral Gender Reveal Parties is the company for you. Why cut the cake and see boring blue or pink when it can be both? As a matter of fact, it has 300 plus colors in 1-inch squares to cover as many genders as possible in a half-sheet size cake. So, announce your boy, girl, bigender, trigender, pangender, gender neutral, they, transgender, or a plethora of made-up bullshit with Glenn's Gender-Neutral Gender Reveal Parties.
I like that. I like that a lot. And by Miss Chili's Muffins. The best tasting muffins you can eat. Everyone no.
Come on.
Okay. Everyone has eaten her
Everyone that has.
Oh, everyone. Oh, that makes it a little less worse. Okay. Everyone that has eaten her muffin says so. After you're done devouring that sweet muffin, wash it down with one of her big old jugs of milk. Yeah, okay. Miss Chili invites you to go down and eat her scrumptious muffin. Because, like Miss Chili always says, I won't be happy until everyone has tasted my muffin.
All right. Now.
Okay. What is that? Is that hostess?
Hostess, you mean?
Hostess?
Hostess.
Hostess. Is that hostel? Okay.
So, this one's mine, right? So you go first. Go ahead.
Yeah. Jason Fleming, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Has said that this is the only film he'd erased from the filmography.
His filmography, not the...
From his filmography is Seed of Chucky. I was dressed as Santa getting killed by a doll on a set in Romania, thinking, where'd it go wrong?
The TV spots for this movie display an unusual disclaimer. Britney Spears does not appear in this movie. This disclaimer was inserted into TV spots because Britney's management was concerned that people might be led to believe that she appeared in the movie. It's not her in the movie, but a lookalike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that was actually her.
See,
okay.
That's why they had to put the disclaimer in.
That's funny. Quentin Tarantino was originally offered the role of that Redman later played as the role was originally written for him in mind.
You mean Mr. Man? Can I call you Red? Redman?
Redman?
Yeah. Running joke of not knowing how to pronounce Redman. When the floor manager at the beginning of the film shouts, "Hey, Tiffany's left arm is loose again," and the arm grabs his crotch, this is an in-joke as revealed on the DVD commentary for Bride of Chucky. Jennifer Tilly explains that Chucky's left arm kept grabbing her breasts during shoots.
Because Focus Features has a reputation for yielding eloquent, artsy, independent films, Rogue Pictures was created as an offshoot to release this one.
What, they didn't think this was artsy enough for their snobbery?
I don't think so.
The wife of the man Tiffany calls to apologize to is the widow of the cop she killed at the beginning of Bride of Chucky.
I thought it was something. Okay, this is the first film to be made by Rogue Pictures.
As of 2016, this is the only Child's Play / Chucky film that contains nudity.
As of 2016, which makes me think that one of the new ones does.
Well.
Okay, I haven't seen them yet. This is the only film in the series that does not mention Chucky's full name, Charles Lee Ray.
But Tiffany does, when she calls that cop's widow, say, "This is Tiffany Ray."
Yeah.
So, anyway, the gender-confused child of Chucky and Tiffany is named either Glenn or Glenda by his parents. Glenn or Glenda was a movie from 1953 by Ed Wood Jr., in which Wood played a transvestite known as Glenn or Glenda.
The script was originally offered to Universal in 1998, who turned it down. Focus Features, a division of Universal, finally picked up the movie in 2003. It came out in 2004, so...
Chris Sarandon was approached to reprise his role of Detective Mike Norris from the first film, but turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. That or he read the script.
Right. The body count was 12. 12 people died in this movie.
As revealed on the commentary, the directors and producer had difficulty agreeing on the look of Glenn. The director wanted to give him his own look and style, but the producer felt he should have similar features to Chucky because Glenn is his son. As a result, he was given blue eyes, red hair, and freckles like Chucky. The blue eyes and red hair, however, are a different shade than Chucky's.
So there it is. That's the final answer. It's Glenn.
Well.
This was originally rated NC-17, and it was later released unrated. Unrated.
Yes.
Unrated.
The role of Pete Peters was written specifically for John Waters, as he was a fan of the Child's Play movies. I, on the other hand, am not a fan of John Waters. He is awful. His movies are awful, and people are like, yes, but we have to say good thing. He's like the gay version of what's the
Farrell?
no.
Oh, I don't know.
Farrell's that. No. The black director that everybody hates the Medea movies, Tyler Perry.
Oh.
Like, his movies are garbage when he writes and directs them himself. He's been in a couple that were all right that other people were in more control.
Albatross, I heard, was good.
But my point is, it's like, oh, but we have to like it because. And I think John Waters is the gay version of that.
Oh, okay. This is the only movie in the franchise that Chucky does not use his good guy doll voice.
That goes good with the nudity, I suppose. Filmed on the largest soundstage in Romania and the second largest soundstage in Europe, where Cold Mountain was also shot.
Joe Pantoliano was considered for the role, later played by Redman.
His nickname is Joey Pants. He was also in The Sopranos. But anyway, this is the first film in the series to feature an animated theatrical trailer. What?
Yeah, that trailer that
Kind
we just
of.
watched.
Anyway.
This is currently the last time a Chucky movie was released in the theaters.
This is the fifth movie in the series, and the fifth Nightmare on Elm Street movie also dealt with the villain wanting a child to wreak more havoc on the world.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
That one didn't suck.
Yeah, this one was
It wasn't
kind of bad.
as good as it could have been, but it was, the dream child. All right.
And the Rotten Tomato scores.
Oh,
The
yes.
people
Had it at 39%.
and the critics had it at 32%.
And I think that's surprisingly high for both groups.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Now, we had a hard time deciding how we were going to review this, because if we reviewed it as a comedy, it would probably get more points than...
If we're reviewing it as another Chucky movie.
We have to, because this is a horror movie review show, review it as a horror movie. And that being said, before we give our ratings, though, what is your favorite scene of this?
See, my favorite scene is just one off-the-cuff line that Chucky spews at his wife, the bride of Chucky, right?
Yeah.
She's blah blah blahing in his face, and he's like, "Oh, I killed your mom 20 years ago, and she still won't shut up."
Yeah, because she mentioned her mom. She's
Right.
Like, but my mom said I killed her 20 years ago, and
I thought that was absolutely amazing.
That was hilarious. My favorite part probably had to be, I mean, this is just me having personal feelings about hating John Waters movies, when he died.
Okay.
It was probably my
I
favorite
mean,
death.
I get that. I could get that, yeah.
I mean, I will say, for gore and horror stuff,
That was a really cool death, actually. So.
I also liked Redman's death. It was...
Oh.
Oh, no. It was awful the way it happened, but it's like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be in a franchise of horror films.
Yeah, but it was just the gore. It wasn't the scary.
Right, but I liked
So-
the gore for that scene.
Right.
But anyway, what was your least favorite scene in this movie?
See, it kind of just started off real bad with the sperm swimming through the caves of her vagina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The caves, really.
Yeah, well, did you see the size of those things?
Yeah, especially since she's a little plastic doll.
Right. But that's not even my least favorite. It just starts off really bad, right? My least favorite is the character of Glenn, or Glenda.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we agree on our least favorite part of this movie. That character was awful. It's just awful.
Like
They were trying to make some sort of social commentary by having him not sure if he wanted to be he or she, and it just didn't work.
Not at all.
It didn't even work for the social justice aspect of it.
And it wasn't funny.
No. There was plenty of funny in this movie.
That wasn't funny.
Oh, that part. Yeah, and that was
Right.
a running gag that just didn't work.
It did not work at all. That was like the main part of this movie.
Yeah, that was like the plot.
If we cut that part out, this would be a 15-minute
Okay movie.
okay movie between Chucky and Bride.
All right. on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being this piece of crap, 10 being, a good horror movie. Wait, did I?
Did you do that? I mean, you kind of got me there, though, because I'm going to have to give it a 1.5. Like, I'm going 1.5 because I did like some parts of it. But I can't go...
I personally, I'm going to give it a whopping 2 because we were laughing out loud hard. And I enjoyed that.
But that's just it.
But I
That's
laughed
just
out
the
loud
problem.
hard at Bride of Chucky, and I actually liked that movie better.
Oh, much better.
Because they did the horror
Well,
and the humor.
Well, and you can do both humor and horror. Because,
this just
like,
didn't.
Get Out had just enough humor for it to be
Had some,
funny. And it was a horror movie.
Or even Tucker and Dale.
Tucker and Dale was a comedy.
Cabin in the Woods.
That was a comedy.
Well, yeah, but Cabin in the Woods.
Had a comedy and a horror.
Well, there was
Right.
horror in Tucker and Dale. It was just misunderstood, but the wood chipper and all that stuff, come on, man.
See, if you watch it from the other people's point of view, which they did edit it in a
It
way.
was a straight up horror movie.
Right,
But
that
it
was a
fun.
straight up horror
Right,
movie.
that's my point.
Right.
So, anyway.
But not talking about
So
other
I'm
movies.
giving it a
this
whopping
one-
2.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, there's really not much else to say except if you like Child's Play, if you like Chucky as a character, and you haven't seen this, don't.
See, but that's just it.
No.
No.
What?
Here's what I'm gonna
then
do.
you'll feel
You
so
have
good
to.
about the...
No, you have
Like-
to watch this.
Why?
Because if you don't watch this, you don't understand what we had to go through. And I'm not going through that alone. So...
I highly suggest you do not. Don't listen to him. He just likes to torture people, and you'll just watch this and go,
Speaking of which, all 3 Human Centipede movies are quality films, and you should watch all 3.
anyway. All right, so let's wrap it up with all our...
Stuff.
Yeah.
That would be there. Yeah, okay. Fact TV, Channel 8. You can watch our show Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can email us at gorystorytime@yahoo.com.
Yeah, you could like us on Facebook.
Yes.
Supposedly, we post memes regularly.
I didn't say regularly. I said I post memes. When I get a hair across my backside, I make a meme here and there that are horror-based. You can also go to fact8.com and find old episodes of this show. Obviously, if you're watching the live stream right now,
You've already liked Fact TV on Facebook.
yes. So if you're watching this on TV and you haven't liked it on Facebook, you should. And that's pretty much it, right? Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
And I'm at Jason T. Jakes, capital J, capital T, capital J.
And
We don't post about the show, but
we will probably offend you in some way.
especially if you're a Cowboys fan. The last thing I posted was anti-Cowboys thing.
Or a Patriots fan, because,
Well, yeah, it's just
Anyway,
gross.
yeah.
So until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.